The day it happened, I was looking right at one of them. It was mostly sunny, not more than a calm day with a brisk breeze gently wafting around as we lazed around on a casual Sunday at the local park. My place of employment, a local mechanic's parts shop, had cleared out early for the Sunday afternoon, allowing me much-needed free time. There were dark clouds on the horizon, distant thunder and heavy lightning streaking across the most ominous cloud formation any of us had ever seen. It was not unusual or abnormal. The valley to our southern flank had this habit of blowing massive storms through a valley between two mountains, and that valley brought with it storms that nobody had seen before. At least not us. I stared at the large steel pillar in front of me, tall, ominous. It had always been here, but we had never noticed, as the humans around us never did either. I had come to the park, and a wave of strange curiosity overcame me as I approached a strange structure located at the park's edge, near the main road into town. I stood there in silence, staring at the strange pillar, expecting something as my ears registered the rapid increase of the thunderstorm. The clouds were low, black, ominous, the shadows of the behemoth underneath casting an eerie darkness under it. It was hovering around, swirling and swaying through the day as it trundled slowly along the ground. A human, a stranger I know now as Jerry, wandered up to me. "Hey dude, what's up?" he asked, his voice snapping me out of my daydream. "Oh, hello?" I replied, tearing my eyes off the towering steel pillar in front of me. "You okay? You've been looking at that thing for an hour now," he asked. Humans, always so concerned about others, to their detriment apparently. "Yes, I am fine. I am just uneasy for some reason. I do not know why. This structure here is strangely ominous today," I replied and stood there trying to figure out why. An ominous distant thundercrack collected everyone's attention nearby, and we watched as part of the storm nearby began to drift slowly into the valley. "Okay, it's just a sensor tower. Not much to it, really. When it starts yelling, that's when you need to be worried," he said with a laugh, patting me on the back before disappearing into the crowd at the park. I couldn't ask what he meant by that as he vanished. He did not dissuade my concerns, he worsened them. What did he mean by that? I stared at the odd object for a bit longer, the sound of thunder and flashes of light behind me making me even more uncomfortable. The tower was a large, cylindrical steel structure whose outer shell appeared to be a bundle of pipes stacked vertically. It was thin. I've seen humans wrap their arms around it while carrying on about their day. The structure seemed solid, built into the ground like it was built to withstand something. The top had these odd mechanisms on it. I recognized two of the three. Just at the top, to my left side, was an array of communications antenna and radio signal boosters. To the right side sat a satellite relay beacon. But built into the structure, just above those, was an odd-looking device I had never seen before. It was swivel-mounted, perched atop a large box of some kind with a cylinder and receiver mounted on it. Jutting out from the side was this strange metal cone, box-shaped with two metal struts securing it in place. I looked around the pillar to see if I could find anything about it and found the maintenance hatch. "What's this?" "Oh, I see, serial numbers and identifiers. Casio Corp Series 880 Civil Narrowband Comms Unit. Okay, that must be the antennae. Cybercorp Inc. Vassal Class DPRR, Satcom Relay Series 8V2.9, quote. Okay, that's the satellite dish. Ah, here it is, the Federal Signal Thunderbolt 1003 Emergency Broadcast Unit. Oh, so that's what this tower is for. It's like an emergency relief broadcast system. Okay, I said to myself and tried to relax. Tried to. I couldn't shake this feeling my curiosity had peaked at just the right time. That cloud formation wasn't moving too far. It looked like it was getting closer, actually. The thunder was becoming more frequent, the lightning flashes more vibrant. By this point, families enjoying the sunshine at the park were clearing out, and various humans were gathering around, staring at the storm. By now my fear grew deeper, darker. Something was very wrong, and the faces of the humans around me were making it worse. Then it happened. I heard some kind of sequential beeping noise, some kind of odd dial tone emanating from the tower behind me. The humans all hear it and stand still, tilting their heads, some even angling their ears towards the tower. The world slows down, as if time itself gave me the chance to hear the device's inner workings. I heard a simple electrical whir, followed by the clicking of gears and cogs. Then I could hear an internal mechanism start up, and could see the antennae and dish start to retract into the tower's structure. I heard the roar of an underground engine and battery pack start up, as if this tower knew the power grid would go down. Panic began to set in as I saw the humans' muscles tense, their eyes starting to dart towards everything around them. A foreboding overcame me, a strange feeling of impending doom. Lightning flashed. I could see with perfect clarity the sight of that very same bolt of electricity striking a tree, setting it on fire. I heard a whir of an electric engine, followed by the hidden, imperceptible whine of a gear mechanism stirring. The top part of the thunderbolt thing starts to move, beginning to rotate. Then it happens, the terrifying wailing screech, starting low, then rapidly escalating to a terrifying, echoing, deafening scream that could be heard across the entire city. Within seconds, I can hear in the background even more of these screams winding up and reverberating across the landscape. The humans near me immediately go into command mode and start chasing people off the grass and into buildings, structures, or into hidden alleys, pushing buttons and pulling levers. The ground rumbles and roads tear open as hidden bunkers appear in the ground. I'm unable to move, terrified as I see a strange cloud formation appear under the huge storm, now strangely impossibly close to us. How was it moving so fast? It was still miles away. How was it right on top of us so quickly? The siren above me began to alternate its tone, long wind up, followed by it going back low as if it were slowing down again, then back and forth between the two tones, still rotating. It did this for what seemed an eternity. Then it slowed and quietened, followed by the sound of a human but clearly artificial voice. Attention! Attention! Tornado warning is now in effect. A tornado warning is now in effect. Suspected Category 3 tornado is approaching. Seek shelter immediately. Emergency storm shelters have been deployed. Please proceed to your nearest emergency shelter as soon as possible. The voice echoed across the valley several times as other stations relayed the broadcast. I couldn't do anything else as I was grabbed by a police officer. A different voice spoke up, as I was being hurriedly half-dragged, half-helped towards one of the bunkers. All emergency services personnel to emergency action stations! All emergency services personnel to action stations. Tornado inbound! Tornado inbound! The sirens sounded yet again, once again differentiating between tones, shifting from high to low and back again, that terrifying electrical wail echoing in my ears as a group of police, firemen, and even a Starfleet officer waved, ushered, and in some cases carried people into the bunker. I couldn't ask any questions. The officers glared at us as the massive steel doors closed shut, locking us in and them out. I sat quietly in a corner, the generator for the shelter kicking in and the oxygen ventilation system starting up. We heard the siren through the concrete, the loud wail piercing through the rock and soil. The wail slowly dissipated, the noise replaced by the rapid roaring terror of the wind, the sound of a swirling vortex of wind shattering the calm above us, the sound of hail and rain battering the environment, mixed with the screech of tearing roofs, shattering windows, and scraping metal mixing with the sound of the storm above us. After a time, one couldn't tell what noise was what. The sound coming from the outside was little more than a never-ending, constant, merciless roar. It seemed like an eternity. The simple act of staying still, knowing fully that death was just above you, the reaper's scythe scraping against the ground as you desperately tried to stay sane, or at least something that resembled sane. Then, silence. After a time, it suddenly went away, the distant roar of thunder dissipating and rolling away, the noise of hail slowly vanishing into the sound of gentle rain, then silence. The bunker doors opened, the steel scraping against something as a tree trunk tumbled into the ramp as the door opened. The world opened up, sunlight appearing in front of us as we all slowly gathered ourselves outside. Women, children, Elusarian, and human all carefully made their way outside and surveyed the scene in front of them. Shattered windows, torn-up trees, missing roof tiling scattered around every inch of land mixed in with dust, melting hailstones, and a rapidly increasing flow of rainwater that was beginning to swamp the area as the drains were clogged with debris. A different kind of noise overtook as the sounds of Starship plasma fusion engines started to echo through the valley, followed by the commanding yells and screaming from police, emergency services, and other officials who suddenly jumped into gear. Police sirens blared as officers and units from other counties began swarming the area. Before I had the chance to think, engineering teams were already starting on repairs. Although it looked awful, the structures were built to last, built stronger than they looked. Despite the debris strewn about, the damage was repaired before nightfall, with most damage being cosmetic or caused by water. Just as the sun started to disappear behind the horizon, the signal wailed again. Strong, constant, stable, a long, continuous wail that lasted 1 minute. Then, one more message broadcasted as the siren wound down. All clear. All clear. Please be advised that we are still on alert for any potential resurgence in the storm. Residents are advised to prepare accordingly. Bunkers will remain active until further notice. We are happy to announce no casualties or injuries have been reported. With that statement, the people assembled, cleaning and securing property, all stopped and applauded, happy nobody was hurt. I was still stuck in a strange malaise of questions. I returned to the tower, whose internal workings had already redeployed the communications equipment, and looked at the odd siren that had caused the terrifying wail. A police officer, came up to me and handed me a coffee. "Hey, you okay?" he asked with a smile. "I think so. I feel strange. What even is that noise?" "Those sirens?" I asked, pointing at the oddly shaped square atop the tower. "Oh, those? We've had those since I think the 20th century. It's the 24th right now, so a long-ass time. They are used for general emergencies as well, military and civil use, as you noticed," he replied with a smile. "How do those things even work? I've seen electronics and speakers and stuff, but I've never heard them produce a sound like that." "How the hell do you get that?" I asked. "Oh? If I remember correctly, they work by using a rotating fan called a rotor, and some kind of slotted or perforated drum thing, called a stator, to suck up air and then force it through a series of holes, creating a sort of sound wave. In short, air goes in, sound comes out. It's all just noise pollution turned into something useful," he said and drank some of his coffee. Just air, that's it? You turn a motor and suddenly the sound of hell being raised appears? So you have other sirens too? I asked. "Oh yeah, lots of them." "Hold on, He dug his phone out of his pocket and pulled up a video for me to watch. He had the sound low, but it was a compilation video of emergency sirens during testing and maintenance, blaring various signals. See, long, clear wail is all clear or alert in some counties. Low-high is an emergency, and multi-tone is for critical alert or imminent danger. Here, see this. You have a lot of different variants," he said. Myself and several other Elusarians gathered around the tiny screen to watch and listen. The tonal shifts, different wailing sounds, pitch, noise levels, and designs left all of us feeling very uneasy. But this short occurrence started a minor obsession. These strange devices, what motivated their existence? What could have possibly motivated engineers to make something like it? What kind of genius or insanity had to exist to even conceive of it? I had to know. This simple desire to know led me into a rabbit hole I could scarcely imagine. Looking at local archives, GalaTube videos, and even getting back to the original manufacturers. These things were ancient, designs unchanged for over 3 centuries, and some being larger electronic devices, but the basic design being the same principle. Originally made to be sirens for air raids, warning people of incoming bomb raids. Originally invented centuries before they were even in widespread use. Their first widespread use was for the Second World War. Yet another infinitely huge rabbit hole that got the entire galaxy in general to become obsessed with the so-called peaceful Terran Federation. The siren's sounds are so distinct from anything else in the galaxy. Probably explains why they are so easily identified and responded to by those who hear them. You can find them in basically every human colony in the galaxy, and some of them never see actual deployment. I quickly retrained and got a job in photography, specifically for real estate development, and started traveling the galaxy all across human colonies for the purpose of documenting these odd devices, even going so far as to go to the actual home world of Earth, inadvertently becoming one of the first non-humans since first contact to ever set foot on the human death world.